All right, we are live and we're recording. So, welcome everyone. This is our first session of our student panel for our 8th grade family night. And I'm excited that we have a wonderful dream team here with us from some current Newton North students. And what's going to happen within the next half hour, they're going to introduce themselves, the grades that they are in. And then there's a series of questions that I'll be asking each of them, and as they answer, and then at the end, they're going to provide a little bit of advice for everyone as our 8th graders make the transition into 9th grade here at Newton North High School. So without further ado, what I'll do is I'll just call the first name, and please feel free to introduce yourself. Oh, and for people who are joining us who are not our panelists, if you wouldn't mind keeping your cameras off so our panelists can be highlighted by keeping their cameras on. So, Abby.
Hi, my name is Abby Pudicero. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm a senior.
Ruby.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ruby. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm a junior.
Julia.
Hi everyone, my name is Julia. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm a senior.
Maria.
Hello, my name is Maria Coutone. I'm a junior as well, and I also use she, her pronouns.
Fantastic. Oh, and sorry, I'm Beth Spodurskas. I'm the counseling department chair at Newton North High School. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm happy to be facilitating these fantastic sessions if I don't say so for myself. So we're going to start with question number 1. What was the transition from middle school to high school like? What was good and what was challenging?
So I can start. I think the most challenging thing about transitioning from middle school to high school is, especially me, I came from Bigelow Middle School, which is way smaller than Day. And so going there, I was really nervous about not having people I knew in my classes. And I was just like very shy in general and not very good at getting to know other people. And then one thing that really helped with that is getting involved in any way you can at school. We have a lot of opportunities in our extracurriculars and our clubs. So for example, I do theater, and so incoming freshmen can do Frosh Cab, and you don't even have to have any previous theater experience if you just like singing and dancing and acting and stuff. It's a great way to meet new people, and I think just in general, extracurriculars and clubs, they're much more informal than your classes, so it's a great way to meet new people that have similar interests as you.
Terrific.
Oh, adding on to Abby, there's so many extracurriculars that you can discover, like from sports to theater to affinity groups. And also, I remember as a freshman at the start of the year, there were a lot of bonding activities within your homeroom. And just within the first month, there was a lot of time spent kind of like walking through the school. And you also get a guidance aide who's an upperclassman. So I feel like there was a lot of support around just like navigating the school and getting to know your peers and your advisory.
Terrific. Anyone else for that transition? All right. We're going to go to the second question. What do you like most about Newton North?
I can go. So I would say one of like the most big advantages of Newton North High School is just like the sheer size, not just of the student body, but like Abby and Julia just mentioned, like all of the opportunities. And so I came from a pretty small private school when I first came to North, and just like being able to meet like I'm a junior and I've met a new person every single day at school for the past 3 years. And that is really valuable because you get so many different perspectives in your classes and clubs and sports. And I don't think you would find that many other places. And so I think it's a good opportunity just to be in such a big environment.
Hi, Margot. Sorry, go ahead.
So adding on to what Maria just talked about, I think the sheer size of our school is a really big plus. Because I think everyone has a thing, and it's like really, really great to like have your thing and be able to connect with people who have very similar interests and things like that. I would say my favorite thing about North is our CTE programs. It's really a like original experience that you don't really get anywhere else. So I am a TV media arts student within the CTE programs, which, if you don't know what CTE is, it's our career tech and educational programs, and it's just I get to be able to work in a field that I want to pursue, and I was able to discover that as soon as freshman year. And you really get like a hands-on, almost like trade-like experience of being able to have these opportunities is something that like not everyone can say that they do. So I can speak of like personal experience. I've been able to interview people I'd never been able to meet before, business owners. I just talked with a world-renowned artist a couple weeks ago, and it's just been like a blast. And like a lot of my closest friends are in that program. So I can't like recommend enough exploring those CTE programs, even if it's like remotely interesting to you. Just exploring it in your freshman years is something that I really advocate for, because whether it's TV media arts or cooking, you know, like culinary, we have those programs for you. And it's just a blast. So yeah.
That's
I
wonderful.
agree with Ruby. There's also so many opportunities for freshmen to try exploratory classes. Like I remember I took child development because we have a preschool, so we get to interact with the kids. And then I also took culinary. And even though I didn't continue either of them, it was still a great experience and it was a lot of fun.
Fantastic. Thank you. Great plugs for CTE and our. All right, on to the next question. Although some things were already said, what activities are you involved in?
So I can take this one. So Abby kind of mentioned theater pretty briefly, but I'm pretty heavily into the theater program, and so is Margot. And I like, if you did theater in middle school, please, 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 please do theater in high school, because there's just like so many opportunities for everyone. Theater Inc. is really different from your average school production programs. So because we have 2 theaters, and because we're just like, there's a lot of kids that do it. A usual school would do like 3 to 4 productions a year. We do 10 to 12 productions a year, which is just unheard of for a theater program. And so I highly recommend doing shows like that. And there's a show just for freshmen. And it's called Freshman Cabaret, and Abby mentioned it. And it's a program just for freshmen to be able to connect and meet with people who do theater. And I met some of my best friends through that program, and I continue to do it. Some other extracurriculars I do, and I can say for like other things, I'm the president of the Democrats Club, so we meet bi-weekly, and that's a really fun time. I started a club last year for creative writing, just because I loved it and a lot of my friends loved it. And so like you can really push the envelope. I think we have over like 80 clubs at North, and that's just huge. If you have an interest that you don't see on your clubs list, you can make that club. And that's just something that's such a perk for New North, just because we have such a huge student body. who there's someone who's going to want to go to your club, you know? And then through the CTE programs, you can do extracurricular stuff as well. So I'm really fortunate through my TV program, we do broadcasting and live streams for various things. And so I've been able to do that too.
Thank you. Any other activities?
Just to add on to that really quickly, like Ruby touched on it at the end there, we have literally like a bajillion clubs at Newton North, and what's really nice about that is not all of them are super high commitment. So things like Theater Inc., if you're doing a sport or anything like that, you're gonna have it almost every day pretty much. But then like I was literally in Uno club last year, and we just sat around and played Uno like once every 2 weeks. So like you have like a pretty big variation of like different groups of people you can be with, and like different things that you can just like go to either like really explore passions or just like have a good time with people. So that's like one thing I want to point out about the activities. It's not all of them are about rigor, even though they're not like rigor. It's just like a lot of work. Well, you know what I mean.
That's awesome that you can strike a balance. So speaking of balance, the next question is, what are the academic expectations and how do you manage them? Margaret, I'm going to start us off.
Yeah, I can help with this. So I work 2 jobs. So something that I do is like at the beginning of every week, I'll sort of plan out like what days am I working, what days do I have time to like do all my homework. Like for this week example, I'm working Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I'll do all my homework Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And if you need to, you can also like talk to the teachers beforehand and stuff, because in my experience, a lot of them are really, really understanding, especially if like you're a good student, they know that you're putting in the work, they know you're trying. So just what I do is like, just do your homework like as soon as you get it, or as much of it as you can, because you don't really know what's going to happen in the future that might maybe get in the way of you being able to complete it. And also there's a lot of support systems. Like, I don't think you'll be able to join this next year, but the year after, if any of you identify as Black or Latino, there's a program called DLS, Different Legacy Scholars, which basically is set in place to basically help you succeed in not just in school, like personal life, helps you with college and stuff. But I know some aren't really thinking of that yet. But it basically helps you at school too. It connects you with a teacher, and you basically just meet, and they can help you like work on your academics and stuff like that. The Calc project also helped me a lot. I don't know if anyone's in that, but it's just like they've got a lot of places to basically check in with teachers and build like a support system for your academics.
Great. Julia, want to add to that?
Yeah, sure. Adding on to Margot, I think teachers are just very understanding, especially for freshmen. They know that it's a very huge transition. So I think the work is like extremely light at the beginning. And in general, if students need to ask for extensions or find extra help, there's so many opportunities through like Tiger Block, Win Block, before and after school. And I think middle schoolers will, or rising ninth graders will still find the work to be very manageable, and the expectations are still to participate in class and do their homework.
Anyone else on academic expectations, how you manage them? It's okay, we can move on. So when there are moments that you do need some help, and Margot mentioned a couple of things, how and where do you get help, both academically, social, emotionally, if you need it? What kind of support is out there? Anybody?
I can speak on just some of the things that every student has. So we have implemented Tiger and Win Blocks. So you've probably maybe been familiar with this a little bit. But Tiger Blocks are 3 times a week, and you sign up for them on Monday. There's one Wednesday, one Thursday, and one Friday. And those blocks are meant to help you get extra support in your classes. So if you're struggling with something like I am right now, I'm really struggling with bio right now, but I've made a plan with my teacher. And so we're meeting tomorrow to kind of get a hold on this. And he was more than happy to help me out. Wind blocks can be a little busy though, because they are required to attend. And so that's when Tiger Block comes in. Tiger Blocks are on Tuesday, and a lot of clubs meet during Tiger Block. But if you have a free one, you can see any teacher as long as they have that free. So like I had a math quiz 2 weeks ago, and I was on Wednesday, and I really needed help studying on Tuesday. And so I went to my math teacher and I saw him, and he helped me out with studying. And Tiger Block is not required to attend, but it's really encouraged. And I've had a lot of support because wind blocks can be pretty busy. But that's stuff that all students have. So even if you don't feel like you're struggling in something, you are required to attend your wind blocks, and maybe just get that extra support even if you feel like you don't need it.
I think in terms of like social and emotional support, Julia mentioned this earlier, but there are a bunch of affinity spaces at North, whether it's for your racial and ethnic identity, gender, sexuality, religion, all of those are there. And a lot of them are like student run. And so they're great support systems and safe spaces at school. And like now I'm in the South Asian Student Association, and I'm also an officer for Women in STEM Club. And so it's just a great space to, get support from other people that have similar experiences as you.
Another option. I know a lot of people might not be like love this, but like you can come into school early too.
I'm sorry, Margaret, can you speak up a little bit, honey? It's harder to hear you a bit.
Can you hear me?
A little better, yeah.
Okay. For me, like, okay, for example, like physics has been like a bit of a doozy this year. And one of the other physics teachers happens to get to school at 8 every morning, and I do too. So a lot of the time, like, I'll meet with him, and we could just like work on homework. I could take quizzes, stuff like that. But like a lot of teachers come in early, so if you're up for that, like, you can also meet early. Like a lot of the time, there's no one there, so it's just you and the teacher, and it's like we was saying, like sort of like a quiet space if the blocks are too busy, and if Tiger doesn't work because you're in clubs or something. A lot of the time teachers come to school early, and you can do that too and meet with them and stuff.
Any other type of supports throughout the school? Yep, Maria?
Just like one more quick thing to add for a few other advantages you have. Everybody has their counselor who you can go to, and they'll help you connect with teachers and with a lot of other stuff. They are really, really helpful. And throughout your time at North, you want to like build a relationship with your counselor because it's an amazing resource to have, and they all work really hard for you. And then another is go to the library for a few reasons. First one, our librarians are like really amazing, and you can like go to the library and read and like try to write your paper, but they will help you find the sources you need, help you with so much. And so just be aware that like they're there for you. And then also in the library, kind of adding on to what Margot said, sometimes you just like don't connect with a teacher, and there's always opportunities to meet with a different teacher of the same subject in the library, and there's always teachers there and you can just ask. And then finally, I want to emphasize, use your upperclassmen friends, because everyone, like, no offense, your experiences are not original. Someone else has had the same problem as you. So like, don't be afraid to ask seniors or juniors how they dealt with certain things and how to do certain problems in like, or how to deal with certain problems, because a lot of people are here to help you and want to see you succeed.
And besides teachers, there's also peer tutors, so you can always be taught by an upperclassman.
That's fantastic. Thank you for all those wonderful answers. So we're gonna get to, as we get through this last, is like giving a piece of advice. So what piece of advice would each of you give to the rising ninth graders to succeed at Newton North High School?
I can start. Like Newton North or like high school in general feels so daunting. It feels so big. You're going from like a class of maybe 200 to, a school of 2000, and that's like crazy to think about. It's it's not as scary as you think it's going to be. I know it seems crazy now. You're not going to get lost in the halls. I swear, every single room is numbered. So if you see it on your schedule, it's probably correct. We just mentioned there is thousands of different things that you can do to deal with stress, to deal with workload. And everyone at that school wants you to succeed. Sometimes it doesn't feel like it, but it's true. And don't like miss opportunities because you're worried about what things are happening around you, or that you won't be able to fit it into your schedule, or you won't be able to do XYZ. Like, please don't worry about that sort of stuff. Do what you want to do and what feels right for you, because that's how you're going to be the most successful. And if you need support, everyone wants you to succeed there, and everyone wants to see you thrive. And yeah, that's my piece of advice.
Awesome. Who's next for some advice? Abby, got any advice?
This is kind of like adding on a little bit to what Ruby said about like doing what makes you happy, because a lot of the time you'll have other people like telling you, oh, you should take this class or take these clubs. But honestly, at the end of the day, it's just doing what makes you happy, and everyone else's opinions don't really matter. And it's just about what you want to do.
Love that. Maria?
Adding on to kind of what both of them said, just like I know socially, like middle school and high school, just like being teenagers, it is like a lot of different pressures. And so you're not going to be the same person you like. This sounds cheesy, but it's so true. You're going to be so different by the time you're like done with high school from when you're like where you are right now. So don't put too much value in your ways right now. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but make sure that you're just open to everything and like keep an open mind. Like as we've talked about earlier, North has is like a special high school. You will have a lot of opportunities that not a lot of other kids at other high schools have, and specifically with our curriculum. So just like keep an open mind, and don't like and like with friend groups, don't like get too like obsessive over being a certain way with like socially, because at the end of the day, like just do you, like you'll find your people. It's like 2,500 people.
Awesome. Any, Julia? Any more advice?
Yeah, I also wanted to emphasize, even if there are clubs that your friends might not necessarily be interested in trying, it's still really good to just try it out, even if it's just like for one meeting, because you never know if that'll be your new hobby. And also, teachers and upperclassmen are your friends. They're there to support you. You can ask them questions, and they're a great resource.
Awesome. Margot, any advice?
This is sort of similar to what Maria was saying, but like, I don't know. In my experience, no offense to anyone, but like, middle schoolers can be mean sometimes. And you're kind of going from that place and then going to high school where there's going to be like so much more of you. I don't know, like 3 times as many. I don't know. But like that can be kind of scary if like middle school is not a great place for you right now. But like don't worry, because a lot of the time people change, like we were saying. Like I've lost friends, I've reconnected with friends, I've gotten so many new friends. Like don't stress relationships, because even if you do lose a friend, sometimes maybe it's for the better, sometimes they might change and you might like reconnect with them later on, but like don't stress it. It's gonna work out, you're gonna find your people.
That is such wonderful and sage advice for all of you. This is fantastic. We have about 5 minutes left. And so in the chat, if there are people in the audience that would like to pose a question, I'm happy so that our illustrious panelists, we can answer them if anybody has any questions in the chat or anything else that our wonderful panelists want to add in the meantime as we go for our next 4 minutes, because I think Zoom will literally cut us off. The advice is fantastic.
One more thing for like the very beginning of your freshman year, there's gonna be a club day, and like I know we've talked about clubs a lot. They're like they're pretty important just like for meeting people. And like one thing, like I remember my freshman year, I literally like joined 8 clubs. And you can bet I'm not in 8 clubs right now, but I have been part of 3 very important communities to me, like for the past few years. So just like at the start of next year, try to like explore a lot, even if you don't think, even if you know you're not going to be into something, it's a good way to meet people.
Just another thing to add. 8th grade night is on Thursday, and everyone should like go to that. It's like really helpful for finding things you're interested in. Like I'm gonna plug the CTE programs again, but each program has a little booth, and you can kind of check out, talk to the teachers. You can talk about curriculum, ask us any questions. I'll be there. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. And like everything at 8th grade night, like it was so helpful for me. So I really, really, really recommend you guys go to it.
I'm going to pose a question while we have in the last couple of minutes. A lot of rising ninth graders ask, like, should I fill up my whole schedule? Should I leave some time for study halls? Like, what do you think about that? Because they're going through course registration right about now. What do you think about that?
I filled my schedule as a freshman. I'm gonna be very real. Like, I was a person who was like, any opportunity I can take, I'll do it. But after that, I did not. I left a block free. I learned my lesson. Please leave a block free. Just one. That'll do. And trust me, it'll be not only like good like to get your work done, but having a block, it like blocks are 70 minutes. Having that 70 minutes to just like recoup during the day is like so nice. And you can fill your schedule up. I know it's really cool because like you see this list of classes and you're like, oh my god, I want to take everything. But trust me, take it slow. You're new, you know, you need to like be able to breathe, and having 70 minutes to do so is really, really helpful. So yeah, that's my recommendation.
Yeah, and also like we do have free blocks sort of integrated into the schedule with win blocks. People have mentioned that before. It's just like 50-minute blocks, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, where you can sign up to meet with teachers you have questions with and stuff, which is helpful for some people. Like I know I love doing my work during win, especially when I don't have any frees in a certain quarter, but I do recommend frees because you get the longer block, like Ruby said, and it's more general and you have more choice with what to do with your time.
I'm gonna echo what both of them just said, but also this like goes beyond freshman year, but I know it's easy to get trapped in the mindset early. North is like a pretty competitive, like the culture of like academics and what classes you're taking. I do know like throughout your whole high school career, it will feel like pretty competitive. And so not just for this year, but every year when you're picking your classes, pick them for you and not your friends, not your parents, not your teachers. Do it for you because you're gonna like feel it. Like you're gonna feel it when you're like halfway through the year and you're like, I'm taking a class I don't even, not that I don't love my classes, but you're gonna be like, I'm taking a class I don't really want to do just for the little honors symbol or the little AP symbol at the end. So really when you're choosing classes, just do it for you and keep a block free. That's the motto.
Thank you. Thank you so much. There's been a great, really informative session. So we're gonna end this one. Panels, hang in there, and then we're gonna join the next one. And thank you for all of our attendees, and I hope you felt that it was helpful. See you soon.